Hey guys, and welcome back to Teal House Farm. It is time for Canning Pantry Tuesday, and I have an extra helper today. Say hi. Hi. He wants to help. So today we're doing something a little different. We're gonna, instead of making a meal, we're gonna make sweetbread. Yay! I've gotten some comments lately about canning. I've been talking a little bit about canning pumpkins, and people are like, well, if I can a pumpkin, how do I use it? Because I don't need pumpkin all the time. And that's very true. So I don't need pumpkin all the time either. So what ends up happening is I'll can pumpkin in like October. I'll use a little bit in November, and then I won't use any until like August the next year when I start feeling a little bit folly. But then I use it for make pumpkin soup. I have that recipe. I'll link it below. You can make pumpkin pancakes. Today we're gonna make some chocolate chip pumpkin bread, and I'm gonna link the original recipe below. It is not my original recipe, because there is a gluten-free option. It's gonna use some brown rice flour, and it has a couple changes to the recipe. So if you are interested in making this gluten-free, today we're gonna show you how to make it with lots of gluten, but I will link the original blog post below and her recipe because she has an option. So if you're looking for the gluten-free option, you wanna check out that link below. This recipe, we're gonna use loaf pans today. I got my 2 cast iron loaf pans. You could use a liner. I'm just gonna butter the pans to make sure that the bread doesn't stick. You can also make muffins. So it'll make 2 loaves, or it'll make probably between 18 to 24 muffins if you wanna make muffins with this recipe instead. We're gonna need 3 eggs. Going to need some light flavored oil. So I'm gonna use an avocado oil. You could use a light flavored olive oil as well. We have 3 cups of flour. We'll need some pumpkin pie spice. We're gonna need 2 cups of puree. So we're gonna drain these and then we're gonna mash them down, and if it's not quite 2 cups, we'll open another jar. That's the pumpkin. You're gonna need some semi-sweet chocolate chips, some baking soda, some sugar, some baking powder, some brown sugar, and some salt. This little man is so excited to help. He's making it impossible to film this video. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Are you ready to make some bread? Let's do it. All right, first we need our big KitchenAid mixer. You could also obviously just mix this by hand with a big wooden spoon, but a good mixer always makes the job a little bit easier. So we'll get that set up and plugged in. We're just gonna use the regular paddle for this. We don't need any sort of fancy attachments. We're gonna add 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and then we'll need a cup of just regular white sugar, and then a cup of light brown sugar. Make sure you pack that brown sugar so you get a true cup of it. Next, we're gonna add our pumpkin pie spice. So we're gonna do just a teaspoon, so not too much, and then follow that with a teaspoon of baking soda, and then 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Last up, we're gonna add a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, and then we're gonna go ahead and mix that together just to kind of sift all those dry ingredients together. And then we'll pop open our jar of pumpkin. We're gonna drain all the liquid out. If we can get the jar open, there we go. Drain all the water out. And I'm actually gonna dump it in this oversized measuring cup and smash it down to see the true volume. That pint of pumpkin is actually only a cup of pumpkin puree. So we need to open another pint. We'll drain that one. Same thing, dump it in the jar, smash it down. And we're just at about 2 cups. You could also use a store-bought can of the 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree if you want to. We'll dump that in, and we're gonna mix that all together. And then we're gonna add just our last couple of ingredients. So we're gonna need 3 eggs. You want the whole eggs. I'm gonna crack them into this measuring cup just so Pat can pour them in for me. I don't want him cracking the eggs. Then we're gonna add a 1/3 cup of our avocado oil, and we're gonna mix all of that together. Next, I'm going to add probably about a 1/2 cup of mini chocolate chips in there and get it all mixed in. This is a little bit of a runnier batter. It's not gonna be real stiff. We're gonna butter our pans. Now you can use butter, you could use oil, you could use lard, but I found on cast iron loaf pans, make sure you really get the grease in those corners, otherwise your bread's gonna stick no matter how well you season those pans. We're gonna go ahead and split the batter between 2 of these loaf pans. And then we're gonna take probably about another 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup of the mini chocolate chips. Put them in this bowl so Pat could help me sprinkle them on top, but he's really just interested in eating them, so I'll do the sprinkling. And we're gonna top our bread off with the rest of the chocolate chips. And then we preheated the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we're gonna go ahead and slide those loaf pans in there. We need to cook this for probably close to an hour, but I'm gonna check it after 45 minutes. And while it's cooking, I go ahead and clean up. It's always better to clean up as you kind of go along so you have less of a mess to do at night. Pat's gonna work on finishing those chocolate chips, and he was definitely not interested in sharing.
Got chocolate chips. Can I have one? No, mine. Why not? Mine.
All right, it took 55 minutes, but our 2 loaves are done, and we're gonna check them with a serrated knife here just to make sure it comes out clean. It does, so they're done all the way through. I let them cool for a while, then they fell right out of the pan, which is great, and we're gonna slice them up and give them a try. I don't know if you need to add butter to chocolate chip pumpkin bread, but I did, and it sure was really good. Last thing, we're gonna pack up the extras. So I'm just using an old bag here. I think this is a bread bag. And we're gonna go ahead and put one in the freezer for one day and eat the other one for breakfast. Micah does not like pumpkin typically. What do you think?
But it reminds me of the banana zucchini bread. I don't know why. It's what it tastes like.
It does kind of. Doesn't have a real strong, it has a slight pumpkin taste. A lot of chocolate.
So if
it's nice and moist.
So if you're a pumpkin hater, this is good.
This is good, even if you're not a big fan of pumpkin.
What is this?
It's bread.
Just for Can I have some?
Hey, how about I get you some new headphones?
Okay.
You like it?
Is it banana bread in a way?
No, it's pumpkin.
Okay.
Okay, we're just gonna put the rest of this away. We'll actually have it with breakfast. Ooh, I got chocolate on it tomorrow morning, but it's good. It's very moist, and it does have pumpkin flavor, but it doesn't like smack you in the face with pumpkin. And I think part of the reason of that is it only uses a teaspoon of that pumpkin pie spice. If you want something with like, if you just want like outrageous pumpkin flavor, I would add probably, I'd double that. And I think that'll give you that kind of spicy autumn pumpkin flavor that you're looking for. But with the home canned pumpkin, it's just a nice mild pumpkin flavor. And even with only a little bit of oil in it, it is a very moist bread and it has great texture. So I hope you enjoyed. We will see you all again next time.